My name is Casey Bernstein, and I'm here at my studio, the Center for Nia and Yoga, located in Albany, New York. I am a Moving to Heal teacher trainer, and today I'm here with you to share format and optional formatting of a Moving to Heal class. First of all, Nia's Moving to Heal is all about feeling better. I feel better. The check-in is using movement to feel better. We start off with every class of doing a walk around or taking a moment, say if it's done in a chair, and checking in about where the body is at, what are its sensations and lung volume. And then at the end of the class, we check in again with something called the body gratitude to see if in fact there was a shift, that the movement that was provided did create that sensation of feeling better. Today, I would like to provide for you is the opportunity to look at optional class formats for Moving to Heal. The first one that I'd like to talk about is Nia's 52 moves. So I can take any music, any Nia movements, or any Nia music, and then play with the 52 moves either in a chair or standing. Again, I really want to have the student work at a pace that they get to experience what that particular 52 move is so that they have that opportunity and sensation to feel better as they are either standing or sitting in a chair. The next possible option is to work with a Nia routine. Now for a Moving to Heal class, what I want to do is I want to really understand what I want my students to experience. So therefore, I must look at the particular kata that is presented in that routine and then adapt it, either slow it down or do more repetition. So again, the student can receive that kata at a Moving to Heal pace appropriate for the group. And again, that can also be done in a chair or standing. The next optional way to do a class is to present Nia concepts and principles. And this too can also be done in a chair or standing. And this is what I would like to provide an example of today, is how to apply Nia concepts and principles while standing to provide a Moving to Heal class. Now, when we do this, depending on the group, I want to be very sensitive and be teaching cooperative. I want to provide cooperative leadership as I'm teaching that meets the needs of that particular group. I want to always keep in mind moving from simplicity to complexity. Sometimes a class requires that I keep it very simple. I want to know that the class is on board with me, and yet at the same time, for their level, I can offer some degree of complexity. And each song today will provide that option. I also want to be providing, in this particular format, is going to be low skill. So there's not a lot of organization for the mental realm to have to come in and figure things out. So therefore, it can be high sensitivity, high level of awareness to create a somatic experience for Moving to Heal. Now, as far as music goes, one of the things about music is I really take myself off the hook in terms of using a bar. I want to sense a bar, but I'm not using the bar in the traditional Nia routine sense of the word. I'm more or less knowing the beat and the count and the sensation of the bar, but I'm not driven by needing to catch a brightness of one for any particular song. And also the sections. I may use sections, I may not use sections, but again, I really care that my framework is using the beat and the count and the bar, so that gives me the opportunity to not rush, to stay what's going on, not feel like I have to move on with the choreography. So I use the music here of Massive Attack. And I love the Massive Attack music. They've got a lot of music on Spotify, and it was interesting, created a great count for me at a good pace, and then I can also really play with the playlist as I wanted to. The focus and intent that I chose was isolate and integrate. And the reason why is the isolation is to really sense what is presented in each one of the songs and then put it into the whole body. I want to integrate it into the body to create a full systemic movement experience from what is provided. So now let's look at this. This again is taking Nia concepts and principles and then spending a song experiencing each one of these. So this is really my choreography. This is all I need to know, is that song 1 is this, song 2 is that, etc. So it really becomes, mentally, I can release a lot of remembering and can also spend more time with low skill, high sensitivity, and really working with the group to create the experience I want for them. Song 1, my objective is to play with the 13 joints, 13 main joints of the body, and I pair them. So I go both wrists, both elbows, etc. And then what I do is, after we've experienced that particular joint, is that it is invited to become a systemic experience through movement of the pairing of each of these main joints, and then of course the spine. But that is great. I can move that at the class space. If a class is not ready to get it systemic, then I simply stay with the hands so they really have that experience of the wrists, etc. Song 2 is I want them to get grounded to the sound of the music, the beat. So there's a strong tuck in the music, and I want the foot to be grounded, and I want them to hear and relate to what's happening on the music and what's happening in my body. That starts in the foot and getting grounded with the whole foot on the sound of that particular beat. The other thing is that I can sprinkle in with that the 5 sensations, is using the whole body systemically to get to feel strength, to get to feel flexibility or agility while sensing the whole foot. That is how I would energize it to create a systemic experience. And if the group is ready, I also can introduce the slow clock, touching the clock around while using that beat of the music, so they get a little bit of foreseeing of what will come and understanding of how the clock step works. Song 3, I simply take the 3 body weights. I take everybody sense your pelvis, and I may provide the pelvic circle or hip bumps, and then in between each of the pelvis, the chest, and the head, I offer this dangle walk as a bit of a reset. That's all people have to do, is in their own way and in their own time experience each one of the 3 body weights. Song 4 is the blocks. I deconstruct the blocks slowly so that people can really understand the cross over the body and the placement of the block. And depending on the group, I can advance it to alternating right-left, increasing the speed of it, etc. Song 5 is kicks, where a person can start to sense the balance and the stability needed to prepare for a kick, and then play with directional kicks, once again, depending on the skill level of that student. But the legs are up on deck in playing with kicks. Now, my song 6 here is where I do introduce choreography, and I do use a bar here. My patterning is stepping to 12, 4 times, cross front 4 times, cross behind 4 times. And then when the group is ready, I add in the cha-cha-cha as a way to transition in between the pattern and in between the patterning. Now, what I do is I simply stay with the repetition of that choreographic pattern for the whole song. And so people, first of all, isolate it in their feet, get to sense the marking of the pattern in their feet, and then it becomes personalized to the whole body. And if the class is ready, moving from simplicity to complexity, I may start to move in intensity levels and the planes of energy. Song 7 is hand techniques, and the hand techniques, of course, easy to isolate, is that I want to isolate the movement in my hands, and then I can integrate it into my whole body. So once again, it's the isolate, integrate, systemic, somatic experience. And sometimes, depending on my class, I may bring this whole experience down to the floor. So people have a really fun way of playing with the isolate, integrate hand technique and also get a floor play experience at the same time. My song aid is assessing what the class would need in terms of floor play. I love to floor play and getting up and down from the floor and 5 stages. I think that's essential in any Moving to Heal class to best of the student's ability to have some experience doing one of the best longevity exercises that there is, and that would be getting up and down from the floor. Here at my studio, I have a very soft floor. I have bars on the wall. I have chairs where people can brace themselves as needed in terms of getting up and down from the floor. So again, I've been very excited about the format of playing with this routine, and in terms of the simplicity as the teacher, I don't need to remember, and I can hold the space for allowing students to have an experience that again is high in awareness and sensitivity, and yet at their level start to build some level of skills. So again, these clips I will provide for you, the songs, and I'll also provide the playlist for you through Massive Attack so that you can see how this works. So thank you. You can always contact me, Casey, my website, I have 2 of them, CaseyBernstein.com and NiaYoga.com. Thank you so much. Until next time, keep dancing.